Hello, and welcome to round 2 of the Parenting Roundabout podcast. I'm Catherine Haleko, and I'm here with Terry Morrow.
Hello.
Usually on this podcast, we talk about parenting issues, but once a week, Terry and I like to get together to discuss TV, movies, books, and other entertainment topics, because it's nice to talk about something other than parenting for a change, although you may hear the sound of my child's voice in the background.
We like to keep it real here on Parenting Roundabout.
So this week we checked back in with Veronica Mars in the fan-funded 2014 movie, and with Zoey in therapy.
A good place for her.
This episode, Zoey's Extraordinary Session, was notable for the return of Peter Gallagher at long last. And
very nice to see him.
Yes, and also all the songs in this episode were not in Zoey's head; they were in the real world. Fairly creatively, coming up with different ways to make people sing in public.
Yeah, that was enjoyable. Not so much with the dancing, but
yeah.
And I remain disappointed that her psychiatrist did not break out in song, but okay.
Yeah, maybe next week. If she has another appointment, I don't know.
I mean,
it was a, certainly strained credulity that she would meet Mo and David would reconnect with Emily.
Yes.
And, of course she met Max all in one very fateful day.
Right.
But at the same time, it was fun having kind of a backstory for all of that.
Yeah. It was. I mean, it was structured very interestingly, and I liked a lot of the stuff on it. I liked a lot of the backstory. I loved that scene between David and Emily in the hallway where they're just reconnecting, because you see the girl that he's with and are thinking, how does he get from this to that? Right. And there you go. I was the whole time had the feeling of doom hanging over me that there was going to be some sort of indication of her father's illness at the end of this. And that didn't. I mean, there was one point where he was kind of staring into space, but then they glossed it over. So I don't know if that was supposed to be something or not.
It was, it was clever that they made it her mom's health crisis.
Right. That was clever. And the contest thing and the working the Ed Sheeran song into the thing with Max and Leaf singing was very cute and sweet. And I will even forgive Leaf the man bun, though just barely, and I'm glad it's gone. And Max sacrificing himself for her was very sweet. There's so much to like about this episode. And then it comes down to what this has all been about is Zoey has a decision to make. Which boy is she going to pick? Oh my goodness. There is so much creativity in this show. Right. Is that all they can think for it to be about? Really? Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So annoying.
Especially because just last week, wasn't it? Or maybe the week before, but that this psychiatrist has said, it's not about you still having feelings for Max. It's about you being scared of losing him as a friend and as an important person in your life. So,
which is what this whole episode was about. And then at the end he goes, "Now you probably love him."
Yeah. Thanks a lot, bud.
Has she looked at this guy's license? Because at one point he said he had no place else to go and she could take all the time she wanted. And I'm like, is this a real therapist?
Yeah, they don't act that way, do they?
No. Well, you have 20 more minutes, so make it snappy.
Right.
So that was, to get to the end and have that be his conclusion and then go into the thing for next week. Zoey has a decision to make.
Yeah.
I can think of no satisfactory way for that to end. And if they get another season, how on earth do we have any confidence that it's just not going to go right back to, well, then again.
Yeah, back and forth once again.
This whole season.
Yeah.
Come on.
I mean, Simon's a catch, and Max is very nice, but he now has a girlfriend.
That's right.
Can we let sleeping dogs lie, I guess?
But you can tell by the way he's looking.
At this little coffee delivery robot they made.
Yeah, he's still... I just... Come on.
Mm-hmm. Very
Come
frustrating.
on. Yeah, it's disappointing, that this is what they keep coming back to.
Mm-hmm.
And so unfair to the two guys. And unfair to her, too, that this is all, she's smart, she has all this emotional stuff going on, she has family, she has all of this, but the most compelling storyline is going to be which handsome man.
Mm-hmm.
This Peter Gallagher this season has really missed you, man.
Yeah.
You were the ballast that was holding down the balloons, and now they've sort of gone floating off there. I really miss that weight, as we said before. Mm-hmm. It was about something deeper in the first season. Mm-hmm. And without that, they just... How can it be that they just can't think of anything else to do, Catherine?
Yeah.
I mean, am I just being picky, or does that seem to be the case?
Yeah. Well, it just seems to be like they don't know what else to do. Like you said, with a smart female character, like
oh my goodness,
you have to have her have romantical problems. That's what TV shows do. And
right,
like you said, they're so creative in so many other ways. Like, can we?
Yeah, I can't believe they can't think of something else to do that would have the same emotional depth as the first season. Right. And if they can't, then they should have kept the dad around for another season. Miracle drug! Mm-hmm. It's going to give you another 6 months, Mitch.
Right.
Please. Oh, dear. Well... I mean, there was much to like about this episode, and it was interesting. It was nice that it was a departure. Kind of weird to have that kind of a departure for your next to last episode, but I guess not unheard of.
Right.
But,
well, and when your seasons are only 13 episodes, like...
Yeah.
There's not a lot of room for doing things differently like that.
Right.
But I'm glad they did.
Yeah. I don't know if it was because of this particular episode and the lack of a big splashy production number to cut from, but there were a couple of awkward commercial breaks in there. There were a lot of commercial breaks. As we've discussed before, this show has a lot of commercials. But there was one where she said, Zoey says to her therapist, I realized that I could lose my parents at any moment. Cut! Commercial. Yeah. It was the Candyman. It was like the Apple commercial for
which was
the phones with the Candyman singing. This is so inappropriate. Yes. And you at least make it to a life insurance commercial or something, or
Well, and especially since you had Danny Michael Davis singing the Willy Wonka song earlier in the episode. So for a half a second, I was like, wait, is this part of the show? Because it was music and it was that song.
That was weird. Yeah. Unfortunate. And of course, I have to think, gee, where was their boss Lauren Graham on this day?
Mm-hmm.
I know why the actress isn't there, but the character would have been there, wouldn't she?
Yeah.
One thinks. But picky. It was interesting and nicely done.
Yeah.
And I'll miss watching this show once a week and complaining about it, but still, there's always enough good things that I'm glad I watched it. Mm-hmm. Though again, about a half-hour sitcom's worth of good things. Right. Oh well, it was at least more fun and pleasant and happy, even in its sad moments, than the next thing we're going to discuss.
Than anything that ever happened in Neptune, California.
That's right.
So, Veronica Mars, the movie, and then the podcast we've been listening to, Veronica Mars Investigations. They actually had 2 episodes covering the movie. I think the the amount of time they spent discussing it was longer, maybe, than the runtime of the movie itself.
I believe it was.
But in general, I would say I did enjoy the movie. It was fun to just kind of see where everybody had gotten to, and you had like characters from the past, including random ones like Corny. And then you had a ton of like little cameos or small parts like Jamie Lee Curtis and Ira Glass and Dax Shepard, stuff like that. So that kind of stuff made
leading
it fun.
to the credits. In the credits of the movie, the final credit is with Jamie Lee Curtis and Enrico Colantoni.
Yeah.
Because, those are equal. With the biggest name we could get and the character we love the most.
Right. Although I will say that Keith didn't really have enough to do in this movie.
He really didn't.
Except being in peril.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I watched this movie when it first came out, even though I had never watched an episode of Veronica Mars, just because the Kickstarter of it was so fun, and I was just sort of generally aware of Veronica Mars in the pop cultural ether. And there were a great many adorable Kickstarter videos on YouTube, and I watched and enjoyed those. So I thought, you know what, let's check this out. And I mean, I remember kind of liking it, but I remember feeling that, oh man, this girl had such a great life in New York, and now she's thrown it all away. What a dummy. I felt super sorry for Piz, and felt that, maybe this was a bad choice for her. And now I thought, watching it this time, now that I know all the history, I will clearly feel differently. And yet I still kind of felt like, seriously, get your butt back to New York.
Yeah.
What the heck are you doing? Maybe even more so now, because my refrain for most of season 3 was, leave Neptune. You got out.
Right.
Stay out. Nice to hear from you, Logan. I'm sure you'll find justice. See ya.
Right.
So she just kind of ends up exactly where she was. And it's like, I feel like we could have imagined these people in a particular place. Even if we imagined them where they were at the beginning of the movie, we could have imagined them staying there. So cute that Weevil had kind of turned his life around, but by the time at the end of the movie, not so much. That was the
most disappointing thing of the movie.
That ticks me off. I am angry about that.
Yeah.
This is what the Kickstarter fan-funded movie did, was mess up Eli's life.
Again.
This is not right.
Yes.
So, and I mean, I guess
I can live with Veronica coming back and being with Logan and all that.
Yes.
Whatever. Even though it seems like a poor choice. But for them to put Weevil back in the gang life, like, yes. Oh, no.
That makes me feel dirty for ever wanting this movie to exist. I hope the fans are satisfied. See what you did?
Right.
You with your money, your Kickstarter donations. You destroyed that man's life. Oh, well. I mean, maybe season 4 he'll be back to the straight and narrow. I don't know. Or maybe you could feel like that was always him and that he, like Veronica, was pretending to be something he wasn't. But I reject that. I don't like that. And also, I'm very happy to see Wallace and Mac again, but for like 5 minutes every now and then. Could they have been more incidental? I think it just like was... They got about as much. I mean, Madison didn't get that much less time than they got. It's like they were there with the, oh, look who all we were able to get back. Not with the, here are 2 important characters. Let's give them something to do.
Right. Their job was to get her to the reunion.
Yeah. Yeah, that is insufficient. Not that I wanted either of them to be in peril, but I would like to have spent a little more time with them.
Yes.
I think they deserved more time than, say, Sheriff Dan Lamb. Yuck, 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 yuck. So, I mean, it was fine. It was like an extended episode. And I mean...
Yeah, it was definitely like...
We have another bunch of dead rich kids, which is, I guess, Veronica Mars's thing. But still, it's just... I guess I feel like... Was this necessary?
Right. Well, no, I mean, it wasn't necessary for sure.
It was fun to see everybody again.
Yeah.
It was fun to see the characters. It was fun to see, oh, there's that guy. Oh, there's that guy. I understand from a fan servicey point of view, it was enjoyable. Mm-hmm. But I feel bad for the characters, which is stupid because they're made up and who cares? But I feel bad for the characters. Mm-hmm. As I often do anytime I hear they're reviving something or they're doing a sequel to a movie. I'm like, I want to leave those people where they were.
Right.
Why do I want them to have more misery in their lives? Leave them alone. I kind of feel we should have left them alone.
Yes. You were allowed to enjoy the fact that Veronica actually did leave Hearst College and leave Neptune and get out. But then that gets yanked out from under you.
And Piz, it's like, that poor guy. I mean, he exists to be punched, and the audience goes, "Whoa, punch Piz!"
He does. It's probably his dream job to work at This American Life, though.
Mm-hmm. He's got his dream job, and he will find a nice girl who will not
treat him like Veronica
involve him in illegal activities and get his face punched.
Yes.
She's out there, Piz. Have faith. Maybe not. Well,
and apparently it's not like they were together all the way from high school
that's good.
Or college till now. They were apart for many years and then brought back together for the sake of the movie.
Yeah, exactly. He was having a perfectly nice life, probably.
Yes, with his nice parents that flew in from Portland.
And his dream job. He didn't need to have his heart broke, you know? He could have just let him go live his life.
Well, maybe Chris Lowell wanted some work.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, Chris Lowell was into it. That's, again, happy for the actors. Psyched for the actors to see them revisit this. It must have been really fun for them. And the whole Kickstarter campaign was very, very fun. Yes. I found a few more videos. I could easily spend the day enjoyably watching Kickstarter videos for Veronica Mars. Mm-hmm. Much more fun than the actual movie. Mm-hmm. But, you can't keep Logan and Veronica apart, except by him having to go finish his service, I guess.
Yeah. That they didn't really explain or explore that very much. How was he having this relationship with...
Yes.
What's her name? Carrie / Bonnie. If he was also off in the military,
Yeah, it's weird.
And I had not remembered that Carrie was played by Leighton Meester in the series. I needed the podcast to tell me that. And also, I didn't remember this kid, Luke, that they kept talking about.
Yeah.
I don't know who that was.
With the Carrie thing, it's I agree with the podcast in that why bring back the character if you're not bringing back the actor? The whole point of bringing back the characters is to have the same actors. Right. Otherwise, it's not fun. So she could have been any one of the many, many people Veronica helped out, or she could have been somebody we'd never heard of, like Cobb. Yeah. So it doesn't really make sense and isn't fun, really. Right.
Yes. When they they have options.
Yes.
If maybe they wrote it thinking they were going to get Leighton Meester, I don't know.
Maybe so. I don't know. I'm as happy to ship Logan and Veronica as anybody else. They're a compelling couple. But if your epic love story includes lives ruined, maybe you want to just go back to Tinder or something and look for somebody nice, Yes. It's complicated. Mm-hmm. So, as with most Veronica Mars, I dreaded watching it and I had a hard time getting into it. And then once I did, it was perfectly enjoyable. But I do sort of resent certain plot developments. Yes. But it does not belong to me. It belongs to the fans. And hopefully this is what they wanted.
Yeah, since they paid for it.
Mm-hmm. So, a genuinely scary ending. That was well done.
Yes, with Cobb after Veronica, once she, of course, figured it out and broadcast that she knew to the entire world.
That's right. She didn't know she was broadcasting it to the entire world, though, did she?
No. Well,
at that point, she knew there was a possibility.
Yes.
But, she wouldn't have said what she said to get...
thing of like showing up there and telling Gia everything she knows or everything she suspects.
Yes.
Like, how about getting some concrete evidence before?
Well, she didn't need it because Gia immediately confessed, so it's all good.
Right. But, she's there by herself. She
yes.
doesn't have any,
Yep.
Typical.
Yep,
typical.
Yep.
So.
That's our Veronica.
Yes. Well, there is more Veronica Mars. There is a season 4, or sometimes called season 1, at least by my library, as we learned back when we started this whole adventure. But we are going to wait a little bit for the Veronica Mars Investigations podcast to get to that before we dive in.
Yes.
So next week it's going to be Zoey's Extraordinary Goodbye, which I believe is goodbye to season 2 of that show. And no word yet on if there's a season 3.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll find out. And then we're going to check out the Peacock show, Girls 5 Eva. So this is obviously a new series, and it has an amazing cast.
Yeah.
So we're nervous-sighted, as they say.
Yeah.
Could be.
We're really hoping it'll be fantastic.
Could be awesome.
And not.
Could be not awesome.
Yes. The trailer has us kind of going, but we shall give it a shot.
And I mean, the cast is like Renee Elise Goldsberry, Busy Phillips, Paula Pell, Sarah Bareilles. Like,
yes.
Whoa. So.
Yeah. I want so much for them. I want them to be successful. Yeah. Come on, girls. You can do it.
You can do it, Girls 5 Eva. It's a former, girl group, teen girl group that reunites many years later. So we'll see. It will involve me learning how to watch Peacock.
Expand your skills. That's right. What we're all about.
And that's going to be it for our round 2 today. Please subscribe to our Parenting Roundabout podcast so you won't miss any of our episodes. We have something new for you every weekday. As always, you can find recaps, links, and an opportunity to comment on our website at parentingroundabout.com. Bye, Terry.
Bye, Catherine.
Goodbye, everyone.